Okay, we got to talk wrestling. So we kind of touched on Full Gear. What's your take on MJF now as the AEW champion?
You may just blow smoke up his ass. That's what he needs, more smoke. Look, I've said this before. I do a little wrestling podcast called Wrestling with Freddie.
Which is so good.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
So good. And you've got some amazing guests on there when it's Wrestling with Friends.
Yeah, man. I will be bringing some more on the second half of this season.
WWF, Wrestling with Freddie.
Well, don't say it out loud. The pandas will come after me.
That's true.
But I've been saying this for a long time, man. I've gotten to know Maxwell over the last 2 years. Every time he comes to LA, we make it a point to go to dinner, and I try to take him to like a different sushi spot every time, right? And this kid is 26 years old, so I can say kid. And he has the single most brilliant mind in the wrestling business. Every storyline that he's come up with, man, I shouldn't even say that. Well, I said it. Listen, the ideas in this kid's head at getting multiple people over, not just himself, but focusing on what's best for the business, not what's best for MJF, is second to none. And I'm not the most experienced and educated wrestling cat in the world, but I did work for the WWE, and I did ask a million questions to the Pat Pattersons of the world, to the Freebirds of the world, to the Arn Andersons, the Dean Malenkos, all these old school people. And everything they taught me, this dude has in spades. Like, it is unreal how his mind works. He does not go into business for himself. That's like such a cliched thing to say now ever since that CM Punk explosion at AEW. But for real, like, that's the best way to say it. I love this kid. I texted him the night he won. Don't get mad at me for saying this. He wrote back, "We did it." Not meaning he and I, meaning him and everyone. I go, and all I wrote back was, "Damn right you did." Because I wanted him to know, like, brother, this was you. And it's awesome that you're trying to get as many people as many people over as humanly possible. Yeah. But you did this. Like, otherwise at 26, it does not happen. No. And so I just hate complimenting a heel. But man, he's so great at it. I love this guy so much. He's so good for the business on both sides. Like, not even working for WWE, I feel he helps WWE as well.
The fact that Tony allows him to talk about Trips, Triple H, and WWE, like, it's so brilliant.
Because he doesn't do it in a detrimental way.
Well, he does it within the confines of his character too.
Yes.
It's so good.
I think he's absolutely great. They have a handful of really talented people there, but he consistently shines above damn near everyone in wrestling, not just AEW, but damn near everyone else in wrestling. Like, there's some cats that can hang with him, but I don't think they have as much free reign as he does. Yeah. And maybe if they did, they'd be able to accomplish the kind of promos and storylines that he's been able to accomplish. But with that caveat placed there, I still think he's the top dog.
That promo he cut spur of the moment in front of the press after he won the title. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Like, just right off the top of his head.
And I hate post-wrestling scrums. I think those shouldn't exist.
Wow.
Like, I don't think they're cool. I think it's real weird. Sometimes I think it's kind of goofy. And every once in a while, someone comes out there and you're like, okay, yeah, all right, I get why you're giving these guys an opportunity to talk. Because every once in a while you get something magic like that.
The fact that promo just came right out of the top of his head.
It's so easy for
with no ums or ahs or pauses.
I've said more times in this interview than he'll say in his entire career. I was there in LA at that pipe bomb promo that he cut when he went, berserk and was just F this and F that and this and that. And I was sitting there like, I can't believe I got to be here for this.
Yeah.
Like, this is absolutely phenomenal. And I'm not a big proponent of cursing to make the promo cooler, right? That's what the Attitude Era was like. Oh, he said "son of a bitch." I was like, he could have said it without that and still been good. Show me you can get over without cursing, and then I'll be like, dang, you know what I mean? But with Max, it doesn't matter. He can make you cry, and like when he did with that CM Punk story when he was talking about making the football team and starting defense, and here comes the defensive line, the whole defensive unit, while he's walking down the hall to his locker, and he's finally going to be accepted. And instead of giving him love, they threw quarters on the floor and said, "Pick him up, Jew boy." And the whole crowd that hated him, suddenly you saw them when they made the cut, and you saw people feel ashamed of themselves. Yeah. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, Sarah, get in here. And when it's special, I make her watch. And I'm like, look at this kid. This kid he's acting. He's like, you could put this in a movie and it would move you and there'd be a soundtrack behind it. And I'm sitting there looking at him just like, how is he doing this? And then I think he just, at the end of it, just kicks CM Punk in the nuts just to let you know, like, no, you were right to hate me. I just wanted to make you feel like shit for a minute. And because I can, for no other reason than I can. And he told such a beautiful story over those few weeks that they had that storyline. I could have watched that go on another 2-3 fights, to be honest with you. Because but he knew the perfect amount of time it should be. And he pulled it off. And he wasn't the one that came out on top at the end of it. And that's where you see like the selfishness and the selflessness all at the same time. It's like Bruce Lee out there, man. Unnatural naturalness or natural unnaturalness. Like that's what he's doing. It's crazy. I know I'm speaking about him like he's a poet or Picasso, but that's what he is. Don't forget, in that pay-per-view, that was his blood, sweat, and tears on an actual canvas, painting a picture for everyone to see with Jon Moxley, who's I call the werewolf, because that's what he looks like, wrestles like, sounds like. He's just a werewolf out there. So yeah, man, he is a Picasso out there. And the good thing is he's being appreciated within his lifetime instead of long after he's gone.
Do you think that maybe he'd have a place in this new wrestling federation of yours?
Mine's too weird for someone like him. Mine is much different. And I haven't been completely honest with everyone about what it is because I don't want it getting out there. But he's so different than what I'm going to do. He would look out of place and it wouldn't be the right thing for him. Although he's read the script, I've pitched the entire thing to him. He's given me notes because I value that young generation's opinion. I don't want to do stuff that's too old manish. And he's been like, he's straightforward. He's like, only old guys are going to connect to that. I think you focus more on this. And I'm looking at it like, ah, damn, he's dead on.